My third guy plays some games.
Alright, hi y'all. Weather Guy here. We are back with more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Hope you're doing great. I'm doing pretty good. I know last one was cut very short, so hopefully we can have a longer one here today. We'll see. But we're going to talk about how Kazuma's going to be the prosecutor we're up against, which is very intimidating. He looks very sleek over there and he has evil eyes going. I don't know. I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no. People all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey. And now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so. The public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths. I feel like he's just getting framed, you know? But Lord Van Zieks firmly denies any involvement in such matters. And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true, or it has been at least until now. Ah! No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. Boo. So, Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow? That's right. But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart. Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. Devastating combination, wouldn't you agree? Absolutely, man, fuck this guy. I've no doubt at all that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor. But why Kazuma? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain. It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial. You asked for this? Well, why? It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? I don't like this at all. Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation. I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact. You are quite right, Miss Makotoba. Totally said that wrong. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks. So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution? Ryu? Let's see how your skills have been honed. After practicing law in this land for so many months. Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend. I feel like he's been totally manipulated in some way. Oh, yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Van Zieks? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene. Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Ryu. Be direct. It's certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine. I wonder if it's the missing jailer, because that would also fall under this umbrella, I imagine. In that case, it could actually belong to the victim. No, Gregson had his gun on his person. What about Lord Van Zieks? He claims it's currently not in his possession. What? According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious. Just because the gun in question is the same type as the defense is no proof that it's actually his. No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zieks. Yes, it is indeed. Talk to our buddy. Sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now. Is your memory completely returned? Yes, completely. I remember everything, including what I was coming here to do. Right. Kazuma, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia? It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Go to London, that's where your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here to London. I'm so sorry for what's happened. Anyway, my memory might have returned to me, but there's something that won't return to the way it was before. Huh? What do you mean? I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. Saying we can't be friends anymore, bud. Doesn't look like we're gonna glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart. Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our Empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery. Brutal. I feel like we need to investigate more. I feel like we don't have enough information. Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Hold it. Before you go, Ryu. Oh, what is it, Kazuma? I just wanted to thank you. Kazuma, what? You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection. You always were intent on studying British law in order to change your own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Ryu didn't want that to die with you. Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here. Oh! It's finally all starting to come to a head after all these games. All these trials, rather. I actually have a favor to ask. Well, which is... This trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow, I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as a defense counsel. What's this all about? I know you have what it takes. But Lord Van Zieks would never put his fate in my hands. On the contrary, he recognizes your talent. He does? It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. That's Lord Van Zieks and Inspector Gregson. And a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. And who's the third person? That's gotta be his brother. It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office. Gregson's office, you mean? Yes, what I'm trying to say is if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight-talking makes him take a different view. Take it. Interesting. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? Just hurry, Ryu. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over. What are you doing, Kazuma? Yeah, it sounds like we're coming up on the end of an investigation. Let's take a look at this real quick. Looks like there's nothing else really to see here. Doesn't flip over anything. Okay. So the prison, and then I imagine that'll be it before the trial. This should be the moment where we convince Van Zieks to actually hire us. Lord Van Zieks is still reading that letter. Maybe he's just a slow reader. They've been gone quite some time though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader or it's an incredibly long letter. He might even be able to read English faster than he can. Yeah, he didn't want us back here. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese. Oh, Sorry, I didn't think you'd hear that. I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time. Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow. Which is none of your business. So have you found a lawyer? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you. In other words, no. You're just talking to Lord Strongheart and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided. I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi? That made the color drain from his face. Yeah, because that's the son of the person who ruined his life. Well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. Oh man, we gotta talk to him some more. 10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi. Genshin Asogi was Kazuma's father, we know. So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court? I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset. Yeah, it's just too big of a coincidence. What could he have been hoping to achieve? Let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this child to somebody like that? Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all of us Japanese. I had only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called professor. Assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. That was Genshin Asogi? Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. You know, there's still a world where Genshin Asogi was framed as well, you know? So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong. Oh, how awful! To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the scribe prosecutor until he consented. What do you mean by the scribe prosecutor? The man in charge of the professor case inquiry, Lord Male Strongheart. Yep. Telling you, Strongheart's dirty. Wait, what? Lord Strongheart? He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I felt indebted. I'm sure you must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor. Anyway, time passed. But then, earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? Ah! And of all things, as a lawyer. I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years that hatred had festered inside me, I could no longer control it. I can understand why. Now I know the history. Yep. But in the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Asogi I am the bane of his, the reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. Make sense? Rexon's transfer to the Paris Police Prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month. That's right. But he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh yes, come to think of it. He did mention something about that, didn't he? I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean? It's the first time I've ever encountered it. Oh. The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place. Sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard. Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy. Oh my, 10 years ago? Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time, and rarely performed. And my brother was of course a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death. So you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then. It's even more conceivable that you would have taken his life. I don't have confidence in anyone. Oh, this guy is broken. And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. I've no doubt he thought of me only as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London. What really went on between Lord Van Zieks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene. Yes, that's not mine. Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. What do you expect me to say to that? Well, Shankar informed us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm. As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? That I don't know. Oh! I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps. You have something in common with Lord Van Zieks after all, Mr. Ryu. A talent for misplacing things. No, this has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese. Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it? It's not decisive evidence, clearly, but it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Alright, now we gotta present our thing. So he'll take us on as a lawyer. Lord Van Zieks, we came by this old photograph. Where did you get that? It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost. Is this the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. Makes sense? It had to be, really. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that? Respect, that's nonsense. No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gino Lestrade, no less. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle, an insight into the true nature of this man known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. Ryu. Oh, that's the first time he's ever used my actual name. I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth. Lord Van Zieks. From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I clearly wished I could. Here is a loathsome Nipponese, who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother Clint and Genshin Asogi. Interesting. The man he idolized and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? Back then I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I looked to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry. So, Mr. Ryu, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me? Let's go, dude. Of course I will. It would be an honor. I'm so pleased, Mr. Ryu. Then my life is in your hands. Dude, I can't believe we're defending Van Zieks against Kazuma. I never thought this story would take this turn. It's so sick. But Lord Van Zieks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. That's why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow in the Old Bailey, against my old friend Kazuma. We had to be continued? We are. And that's where we're going to end it today. Tomorrow, next video rather, we are beginning the trial. What may be our final trial, which is crazy. That's all I got. Thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all are amazing. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Make sure you take care of others. And I will see you next time. Peace out.